All right, we are going to work on a pullback counter, okay? So a pullback can be where your head is over your front leg and you just pull yourself out of range, put the weight over the rear leg, and hit a rear side punch counter. Or it can be an instance where you actually bring this back leg back, you don't keep it anchored, and you support your head, which is the target that they're going after, with your rear leg, thus loading up your rear leg and hitting a rear hand shot, okay? So the first one, which is more fundamental, is the one where I step, okay? I'm going to show that first. So I want to explain here, and I've got my foot on the line here, that I'm in stance. I'm not necessarily giving more weight to one side or the other. What I'm trying to do here is take my head back without just leaning in this awkward position. I don't want to just lean, because then it's all just core muscles and back muscles which aren't very explosive or strong, pulling me back to actually hit my shot. What I want to do is pull my head back, but at the same time support it. So my head is going to be going further behind where my leg is. So can you come over here and come parallel to me? My foot is on the line here, and I'm going to be coming here, all right? So as I anticipate this punch coming, and I'm not necessarily giving more weight to one side or the other, I'm going to pull back here. It's not even that much lots of times. It's just an inch or two. Just an inch or two is enough where this would have been a bad lean with a terrible ability to counter afterwards, but this loads up my rear leg. You should feel it in your glute and your hamstring, okay? Not so much in your calf or your quad. You should be loading a flat foot, and that can be a cross, that can be a rear hook, it could be an overhand, it could be an uppercut, it could be any of those, all right? So, a scenario in which this would be pretty effective is someone coming in with a hook, for example, okay? So I'm not necessarily baiting my opponent in this instance. This one I'm staying right where I am, all right? And I'm pretty even. And when I see this hook coming, I'm going to pull back, all right? Notice this back leg has to move back an inch or two to support me. So I pull back, there's a right hand counter, or a rear hand counter if you're southpaw, okay? So she goes for it, I pull back and hit, all right? If this were to be a jab, you guys can practice this one too. If this is a straight punch, I can move just slightly off the center line, all right? I'm not pulling straight back because I can get jammed up as I try to counter a straight punch that way. What I'm going to do is go slightly diagonally off the center line, okay? So as this jab comes, I'm here. And there's a right hand counter right there for you. I believe it was the second fight with Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. Arturo Gatti dropped Mickey Ward with this exact move. It's a pullback off of Mickey Ward's jab. So Mickey Ward comes in, he pulls back, and he hit an overhand right behind the ear. And it's really good counter. There's another way to do this that I want to show. And this way is a little less fundamental, but it can still work. This way is a little more advanced too, because it relies upon creating the illusion of a change in distance. Now, distance in boxing or in stand-up fighting is depending on a whole lot of things. The actual arm length of the person, their ability, their style. Some people just throw jabs like this and they don't use their length. Some people fully extend. Some people are taller, you know. Different anatomy, different styles, different ability is going to create difference in range. But generally speaking, your range is where your foot is, okay? So unless you're doing something dumb like this, which doesn't matter, your feet will tell your opponent where you actually are. That's why if you have good peripheral vision, not focusing on the feet, but if you can just tell where your opponent's feet are, you're going to be able to be a better judge of distance. Now, right here where I am, I'm not necessarily in range for her to hit me if we're both planted, okay? She can come close, but I'm not really in punching range for her. Right now I am, right? And she can either hit a solid block or hit me, but here I'm slightly out of range, okay? This is where I want to be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bait her by creating the illusion that I've actually moved closer. If I actually did move closer, yes, then like I just said, I'm in range. But here, I'm going to pull my head over my foot. Now I've given her a target to reach for. So as she reaches for this target and goes for a hook on me, I pull back, and now this back leg is still there to support me, and I can land my rear hand shot. Okay? So keep in mind, this is not what this is. This here, and then she throws, and I go here and here. This is not like some idiot doing a street fight against another idiot who doesn't know how to take a punch. Although you may see some super high level, really athletic guys that have pulled things off like that and showboating, you know, like Roy Jones and Pernell Whitaker have done things like that. If you take a different guy, for an example, like Floyd Mayweather, Jr. obviously, you look at the way that he does this, he'll be here and he'll be out of range, but then he'll put his head over his front leg. And now he's baiting the person. He doesn't even have to move his feet, because when they shoot for him, he pulls back and now he's ready to go. That could be an uppercut, that could be a cross, that could be anything. So again, to review, the two ways that we can do this are, and we'll do it off a hook each time, is one, I'm even, she throws a hook, I step back, ready to throw my rear hand. The other way is I'm slightly out of range, but I pull my head over my front leg to create the illusion that I'm closer. She goes for the target. I pull back, I load my rear leg, and I land my shot. Pull back counter.